As graduates, one of the key skills you should be able to demonstrate is the ability to engage critically with texts. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to be an expert in saying negative things about the text, as in, oh good grief, this textbook is simply terrible. Instead, it means that you're going to be able to do a number of different things to the text when you read it. Now, these include understanding the strengths or weaknesses of any argument presented, being able to read between the lines and see hidden assumptions that can often be misleading, working out the implications of a text. If what a text says is true, then what then? Applying the text in a range of different contexts. How can I, for example, use the information in this text to make me more effective in my workplace? Now, during this course, we'll be looking at a number of different key texts, and these texts are there for a reason. In fact, they're there for three reasons. Firstly, to develop your understanding of intercultural communication, and to help you apply that understanding in the assessments for this course. And finally, to be able to better articulate your understanding of intercultural communication to potential employers. Now, it would be simple enough to give you chapters from books to read and then tell you to go away and read them, and that might make life easier for me, but it won't necessarily be of much help to you, especially if you're not used to engaging in a critical review of source texts and the ideas within them. Not to mention it's going to be pretty boring. So in this course, we're going to be looking at key texts through a discussion-based forum called Nowcomment. Nowcomment will display the text itself in a pane on the right-hand side of your screen. Inside the text you'll see a small speech bubble, and these indicate comments that have been made by other people about that particular sentence. If you click on one of them, the sentence itself will highlight, and the corresponding comment will be highlighted as well in a panel on the right. And this right-hand panel is where most of the comments and discussion actually happens. As with any forum, you can reply to a comment. Unlike more conventional forums though, comments here require two fields to be completed. Firstly, underneath you have the opportunity to write your comment out in full. Secondly, at the top, you need to summarise your comment in a sentence or two. Why? Well, two very good reasons. Firstly, it makes life much easier for other people reading the comments if they're able to look at a quick summary of the point first. It makes it easier to quickly skim through and get a general idea of all of the comments and identify those that people think they might be able to respond to. Secondly, it's a very good way of you crystallising your own points in your own mind. Having to think back through what you've written and identify a key succinct point within it is an excellent way to make things clearer both for yourself and for others. I could go on about how vitally important this process is, but for the sake of your own sanity I won't. Now, if you find a sentence that you think is interesting, confusing, or important in any way, you can click once on that sentence and it will highlight in the comments pane. If there are no comments already about that sentence, you can start a new one by clicking on Start One, or just click on the little speech bubble with the plus sign. Alternatively, if you'd like to comment not just about one sentence but about a whole paragraph, you can click on the speech bubble with the plus sign that shows next to the paragraph. In any comment you make, you can change the level of the text you're commenting on by switching these small radio buttons from sentence to paragraph to document. Now, the aim of these forums is that you identify certain things about a text. Are there any specific parts of the text you don't understand? Are there any specific parts of the text that you find particularly clear or helpful? Are there any specific parts of the text that you would like to be explained in more detail? Are there any specific parts of the text that you think will help you in your assignments, and why? Whenever you identify a part of the text that meets any of these requirements, then you should make a comment about it. If a comment has already been made, you can still contribute by agreeing with the comment, disagreeing with the comment, or adding more ideas or information to it. Now, of course, I understand at the beginning it's not always easy to find things to say in a forum. And for these reasons, I'll be helping out with the first few readings by providing some guided questions in relation to them. Now, these will be open-ended questions, and I'll be expecting you all to respond to them, either by providing an answer or simply agreeing with something that has already been said by somebody else. I mean, quite literally, I agree with Sajik would still count as engaging with the exercise, because in order to agree with Sajik, you would need to have thought about what he said in relation to the text. Now, in terms of engaging with the text outside of my own prompts and questions, you can start to organise your thoughts about the text very easily by using Nowcomment's highlighters. These appear above the text itself and provide categories that you can use to highlight parts of the text. For example, you can begin by selecting the unclear highlighter and then going through the text and selecting any sentence that you think is unclear. When you have identified all the passages that you think are unclear, you can comment about them, and either myself or another member of the group might be able to help explain the sentence better. When a sentence is explained, you can select the same highlighter to remove the highlight. Now, by doing this, you can systematically ensure that you understand everything that you need to about the text. And by using different highlighters that are available, you can identify any key passage that you want to remember because they're important for your assignments or because they'll help you to understand how to use the subject for your own employability. Now, in order to start using Nowcomment, you may need to register with the site. You can use your UEL email and password to do this. Nowcomment is a non-profit resource that plugs directly into UEL's Moodle and doesn't need anything more than a username and email address from you, neither of which will be shared with any other company.